listen, we got to do this. We got to do this. It's got to be big time. This one's coming at you from it's coming at you from TB Adventures. Do you understand? For those of you that don't know TB Adventures, he's been in my corner since day one. There might not be a show without this guy, and I'm not fucking around. There were times that I thought about packing it in, and he's offered encouragement. He's offered show ideas, criticisms. Yeah, criticisms. Yeah, I don't delete comments on my program. That's one thing you'll never see me do. I love how a lot of these big YouTubers out there, they delete comments. Oh yeah. The best part is they fuck up and then they go around sweeping and deleting comments so it doesn't negatively affect their channel. Well, I got fucking news for you. This ain't North Korea. Okay, so I got the news from TB that he wanted to talk about this game right here. The nipples got hard. Guys, welcome to my wheelhouse. Are you ready for this one? I pick up this. I could almost not even pick up the weight. It's like picking up a spoonful of Uranus. No. All right, come on. Let's get serious here. Wasn't that the thing? I remember my earth science teacher telling us, like, if you took a spoonful of Uranus, it would weigh like a couple tons or something like that. Well, yeah, okay, guy. Sounds like a spoonful of bullshit to me. I don't know. Who's this guy? Carl Sagan? No, his name was Mr. Steinweiss. You want to know that? You want to know? Give me a fucking break in life. He's our earth science teacher, all right? His name is Mr. Steinweiss. He's Jewish. And he has an Adolf Hitler mustache. And he looks just like Adolf Hitler. What do you think high school kids are going to do? So what happens? If you say anything about Adolf Hitler in his class, he sends you down to the office. Oh, thank you, fucko. I mean, fucking school teachers. These are the people that are teaching your kids. Anyhow, let's get right into it. All right, Tecmo game here, guys. Tecmo. It's a Tecmo mind blower, man. Here we go. It's Rygar. Rygar. Do you understand? When I was a kid, I got this game from my buddy Steve. I don't even know. On a trade. I don't even know what I traded for. But I got Rygar. To be honest with you, I didn't even want it. But a trade was a trade. A new Nintendo game was very exciting. The notion of getting a new Nintendo game was incredibly exciting. So I just went for it. And to be honest with you, I wasn't overwhelmed by that cover art. And I'm still not. This is Rygar. Okay, I get it. Here we go. There's your hero. But what is he doing? He's doing like a leapfrog over this guy's head and this enemy is smiling? No good. There's nothing to smile about here. Do you understand? When I think Rygar, I'm not smiling. Okay, this is serious fucking business. 1987, guys. 1987. You ready for this? 1987 open-ended action RPG. Yeah. Released July of 1987. Metroid released in North America August of 1997. Rygarvania! What'd you do? You listen to all these crackpot YouTubers out there? Metroidvania. Puh! Rygarvania. This is the first one. Get it? Oh yeah. Oh, it's a first in a lot of ways. Sip of coffee for Rygar Mania. That's it. Guys, if we're going to get really, really serious here for a second, you got to understand the arcade, the Rygar arcade machine. Okay? Side-scrolling platformer, action platformer. That's it. That's where it ends, right there. This would yeah. Listen, I've never played Rygar in the arcade, but I've played the arcade, the Rygar versions of Rygar that are supposed to be, true to the arcade, like the Atari Lynx version. I knew there was like a Sharp 6800 version or 1000. What is this thing called? And yeah, that's all great, but who had it? And I never saw a Rygar arcade machine ever in my life. But here we go. You could play the Atari Lynx version, and guys, I love Rygar. And the reason why I got Rygar on the Atari Lynx is because I was so fond of it on the Nintendo. But when I be honest with you, if you play the arcade version, you could fall the fuck asleep. You get it? So here's an instance where an 8-bit console blew the arcade machine out of the water. There's no comparison. Okay? There's just no question about it. This game murdered the arcade. That kind of stuff didn't happen. It just didn't happen. Think of another Nintendo game that murdered the arcades. It's unspeakable. It just didn't happen. Rygar did. Rygar gave you a whole new adventure. This is insanity. Guys, you pop in your Rygar cartridge, and the first thing that happens is you get hit with this music. All right, I dun 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 dun. We got to speak about the music of Rygar for a second here, okay? The guy that composes the music in Rygar, all right, what's his name? I wrote it down here. Michiharu Hasuya. I have to write down his name out of complete respect. You start to listen to these tunes, and dun 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 dun. Okay. You start to listen to the music of this game. And listen, every single one of these songs is so epic. And every single song has this beautiful like epic feel to it, but it has this also rolling bass undertone. My man was a bass player. Oh yeah. I read your book, Rommel. Yeah, I read your book, Michiharu. You're a bass player. You fooled everybody else, but you didn't fool me. Standout track. Every track is a standout track. But the standout track is when you get into the Spider's Tunnel. Okay? And you get that. I mean, this type of music. This almost carries the game. You got to understand something right now. Rygar right here is a perfect storm. It's a perfect storm graphically. When you first turned on the game, I'll tell you something Rygar had over Metroid. Parallax scrolling. It might have only been one layer, but it was there. The very first level of Rygar, you're running beautiful graphics, beautiful animations on the running of your character. Oh yeah, and the sun passing through the mountains in the background. It was one layer, but it was enough to sell it. Freeze that sun, make that sun immobile, and it's a totally different experience. It gave a little bit of 3D, right? Because that's what the parallax scrolling does. And man, it meant the world. You want to talk about it? So here we go. Beautiful graphics. Beautiful music. Okay, this guy, Michiharu Hayusu. Okay, I looked him up. And you know something? I looked up his discography, is that what you call it? And I almost passed out. You want to know why? He programmed the music for my favorite Nintendo game of all time, Vic Tokai's, is it Tokai? Conflict. I couldn't believe what I was saying. So I went back and I started to listen to the Conflict music. I'm like, oh my god, it's Rygar. You could make a sequel to Rygar and play this music. Then I look at, he did Mighty Bomb. Listen to what this guy's done. Mighty Bomb Jack, Golgo 13. Then I went back and I listened to the Golgo 13 music. And I was like, oh my god, it's Rygar. I never put two and two together. Last Armageddon. Same deal. I never played Last Armageddon before. And what was the other game that he did? Oh, shit. Many others. Many others. Was it Mighty Bomb Jack and what else? Solomon's Key. So here we go. A few Tecmo games in there. A few Vic Tokai games in there. Absolutely stunning music. Come on, Golgo 13, when you're in the hotel. Come on. This is the type of music that, you know what? Get out of my country. So here we go. The story of Rygar goes a bit like this. There's this guy named Lygar. All right, you can't make this stuff up. It's Rygar and Lygar, right? Lygar took over the. He's like this three-headed, fucking. I don't know what he is, like a three-headed lion or something like that. Two-headed lion. There's two lion heads on a something body. I don't know what's going on. Anyhow, this guy took over the land of Agrul. That's the name of the land here. And basically you have to visit five gods, which are basically guarded by a boss, and you get items along the way. And here's the deal with Rygar. You're going through these different. There's like 5 different. What do you call them? Areas, lands. Let's call them lands. That sounds better. There's 5 different lands that you travel through. And you'll notice on the first level, you'll go to the top of the mountain, and then you'll need a grappling hook to get all the way to the top of the mountain. You can climb some ropes here and there. And by the way, did Rygar nailed it with, this is 1987. Rygar nails it with a rope climbing animation. Oh yeah. Go back and look at your old Nintendo games and check out ladder climbing animations. I want to do a whole show about it. That's my dream, to do a show. It's just going to take for fucking ever, you understand? To do a whole show dedicated to ladder climbing animations and how ridiculous they are. I love Shadow of the Beast when he's climbing a ladder on the TurboGrafx version. He's climbing a ladder. He looks like he's got his butt tucked in as he's going up the ladder. Nobody walks up a ladder like this. And that one's halfway decent. Anyway, Rygar's going up the ladder. His legs... He's going up the ladder. His legs are going like this. I don't know. It works. It's like, wow, they put a little time into this. He could have just zipped up the ladder, up the rope or whatever. What are we talking about here? Idiot. Yeah, so you'll get to areas in the board where you can't progress any further until you have the grappling hook. So you have to go to another land to go find the god that carries the grappling hook. Beat the boss, grab the grappling hook, come back to this area. I'm not going to call it boards or levels or anything like that, because a level you get past and you don't come back, right? It's a level. You get to the next level. No, you come back to this land with the grappling hook. You go up the mountain, and then you'll get to another part where you need a crossbow to get across, right? You fire this crossbow with a rope across to another log, and then you can cross that area. But you can't go across a rope, a tight rope, without the wind pulley. So you're going to need the wind pulley. So here we go. We're traveling around this land, and it's a land of discovery. You're going to discover different things. You're going to walk into these doors, and you're going to meet monks, right? Monks, coincidentally, that look like Celine Dion's husband, ex-husband. That's what I always thought. And you know what? It was funny when you talk to one of these monks. There was a big chasm between you and the monk. I always wanted to attack the monk with my weapon, but you couldn't. And if you tried to get near him, you'd fall to your death. And if you fall to your death in Rygar, the game is over. Oh yeah, it's brutal in that regard. Listen, maybe it was muscle memory, but I remember Rygar being a lot harder when I was a kid. Oh yeah, because it was. And I'll tell you why. Great thing let's talk about Rygar's weapon, okay? Very unique. I call it the fucking flaming yo-yo. I don't know what it's called. Actually, I do know what it's called. It's called the disc armor. Huh. I never had the instruction manual. But anyway, a lot of people, I don't know what they think that Rygar throws. Is it like a blade or something like that? It's not a blade, like a saw blade on fire. I mean, that's what it looks like on the cover. But it's not true. You're actually throwing your shield on the end of a rope. I don't know. Who made this thing? It's like the fucking, it's like the Fatal Flying Guillotine. It's terrific. Very unique weapon. Very satisfying sound when you hit enemies. By the way, enemies, they're gonna be like these mollusks, crustaceans that climb out of the ground. You have these like crawling turtles and like centipedes that roll up out of the ground and roll at you, and you're gonna be bombarded by enemies. They respawn all over the place. You have these ghouls that are walking around with like, they're not ghouls, like these fucking crazy animals running around with like double jointed knees. Their knees go back the other way. They're chasing you around. What are you kidding me? These things flying overhead that drop eggs on you, they look like the goons from Popeye. They got like hairy legs. The enemies are fantastic. We are set in a land of adventure and fantasy, right? If Metroid is like this very technical place, we're in the land of fantasy. But there's an area of Rygar where you encounter robots. I always thought that was really creepy. But it's only like one enemy is like this highly advanced robot. Which makes you wonder to yourself, am I in a land of primitive monsters? Or am I in a very technically advanced land that reverted back to monsters? I don't know. Well, who's this robot coming down? Am I in Atlantis? And he fires a laser, like this laser blast at you? You're like, huh, what? Anyhow. Here's the thing that's going to blow your fucking mind. Okay. What's important to understand is when you hit the start button, you have your stats. Okay? There's something that was completely foreign to me when I first played Rygar. I hit start. And here comes the stats. And over here we have power up, attack and assail, and recover. Okay. I looked at it and I was like, I don't know what that is. I just got done playing Super Mario Brothers. Do you understand? I don't know what this is. I never experienced this before in my life. On the other side, you have tone, last, and mind. I was like, oh, that's nice. And at the bottom, you have like boxes for items that you collect. I hit pause to go get a fucking glass of iced tea, and that was about it. Do you know I got all the way to the final boss without utilizing anything on that screen? So let me explain. Tone would be like, it's like experience. Every time you kill an enemy, your tone goes up and your last goes up. Tone is your offensive power. You get more powerful. This was experience. Before experience. Tone. I didn't have the instruction manual. Steve threw it in the trash. Last was your I think 48 enemies that you kill. Something like that. You get an extra bubble on your life bar. Yeah. Like hearts from Zelda. So I would notice that my energy would go up, but I didn't know why. It's because my last was going up. Just another series of experience, basically. And then mind. You would kill enemies and they would drop stars, and you would get a mind point. And mind points allowed you to utilize the power-up system. One was labeled power-up, one was attack assail, and one was recovery. Power-up was a one-time use. So you'd get a couple of mind points, you'd use power-up, and you'd power up your guy. And the power-up would last the entire game. It would just make your... it would make the fire yo-yo go further. And that's it. You power up, and boom. That weapon's powered up for the rest of your time, as long as your power button's still on. And that's also... Well, we'll talk about that in a second. So... Then you had attack and assail, which was a spell that you could use. It would last like 10 seconds. You would click on it. You have enough mind points. You'd click on attack assail, and you'd have like this shot that would hit everything on the screen. It would like make a flash of lightning, right? And then you had recover, which when you got enough mind points, you'd hit recover and would recover all your health. So this was amazingly beneficial. And then it would show whether you got the grappling hook, the crossbow, the wind pulley, the flute, the elixir. It would show you in the boxes below. Okay, I completely ignored that menu screen. Yeah. I was playing the game and I would get extra hit points. I'd be like, "Oh, that's great." And then I would started to realize that I'm getting stronger. Anyway, I would go get to the last boss and get completely soused by him. And when I tell you I did this for months on end, I couldn't understand why I couldn't beat this game. And when it dawned on me that this was experience points I was getting, and my guy was getting stronger from killing enemies, that's when I pulled out the old NES Advantage. I talk about this a million times. I would go to a respawn point. I already know it. It's up against the back of a cliff. I put my back up against the cliff so nobody could hit me from behind. And there was a tree, maybe 10 feet in scale in front of me. I used to tape the joystick down with duct tape, turn the turbo on, get a roll of toilet paper, get a wad of toilet paper, put it on the button, tape the button down, set the turbo on the NES Advantage, crouch down, tuck the NES Advantage underneath the TV console, turn off the TV, let the NES run all day, come home from school, and I'd be fully loaded. You understand? Fully loaded. And it was one day, by chance of God, that I used attack assail by accident. And I was like, wait a second. What is this? Oh, I bet I can use that on the final boss. Then I said, what if I can use that? I can use this power-up thing too? I used power-up, and then I used recovery, and I was like, oh my God, that's it, I can do it. And I'm telling you right now, it might have took me a year to beat Rygar. Just out of complete ignorance, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I never gave up on that game. I loved it so much. Yeah. So do me a favor. You get to the last boss, okay? Without utilizing the menu system. Then you come and fucking talk to me. You understand? Discovering that menu screen was like finding a game genie. I got some notes here. I mean, what do you want me to do? No, here. Lock me up. I just want to make sure we hit on everything. Yeah. All right. Oh yeah. So here we go. I mean, bosses you're gonna meet. You're gonna meet like a tiger-headed turtle. You're gonna meet these snails with like. I got news for you. Some of these boss patterns. All right. I'm glad this came up. Back to the Perfect Storm. The gameplay is perfect. The gameplay is perfect. You know something? Bad gameplay could destroy a game like Rygar in a heartbeat. But your fire yo-yo fires fast. It's very fast. You're well under control. You can jump, move in the air, fire in the air, everything you need to do. Crouch down fast. Everything's fast, precise. This is precision. Platforming, action platforming when it needs to be. I think the platforming in Rygar, you could make the platforming so difficult and it would still be playable because the controls are so good in this game. I never had an issue like falling off cliffs or whatnot. Listen, you fall off a cliff, you're fucked in this game. What's going to happen is, and you can almost use this to your advantage, you'll pass through a few lands, get where you got to go. I remember this one area where it's like a boss rush mode, right? It's a bit of a boss rush mode. So you'll go up and you fight an enemy and you'll kill him. You'll go up to the next boss and maybe you die. That first boss is gone now. So you don't have to worry about him. You could even die and it'll start you back at the beginning of the land with basically just your 3 energy and nothing else. And you'll have to get back to that spot. to fight the next boss. But that initial boss is gone, which is great. So you can sit there and you can grind, build up your energy bar, get a couple mind points so you can maybe use it in recovery or an attack assail, go back, fight the next boss, and if you die again, as long as that boss is defeated, he will not show up again. And it'll put you back at the beginning of the land. But sometimes you'll die and it'll put you back at the beginning of the land, but you want to be somewhere else, to a different land, like the previous land, in order to grind. Because there's certain spots that are really good for grinding. So you'll die, it'll put you back at the beginning of that land, and then you'll go back through the door to enter the other land, and then commit suicide to get back to the beginning of that land. So death can be used in your favor. You can use suicide to travel around the land a bit. And that's something that I learned this time around. Because as a kid, I wasn't committing any suicide. All right? To die was like unacceptable. All right? I've gotten a little smarter these days. So there you go. There's there's more than one way to skin a cat in this game. And you can go in many different directions. You don't have to follow. There's no clear-cut path in Rygar. Very, very advanced for the time. Very open-ended action RPG. There's a few possibilities here. Absolutely incredible. And I will tell you right now, there's almost like a main hub world, which you don't start in. I would say the main hub world is not side-scrolling; it's overhead. So there's a different change in graphics here. It's almost like you're running on a map, isn't it though? And you can run up and down and left and right. You'll have almost like an overhead view, and you can jump. Oh, it's incredible. And I always love the idea of that area, and I used to draw a map of it. Yeah. Oh, I used to love drawing maps. When I was a kid, I used to get a piece of paper and a pencil, like a real dingbat. And I'd go down by the water. And I'd have a piece of paper in my hand, and I would walk along the coast of the water, and I would draw all the bumps. I'm making a map. Yeah, a map of 30 feet? And I bring it home, and I'm like, Mom, look, this is a map of the dead end down there. She was like, oh, yeah, great, son. A sip of coffee for what my mother had to go through. Yeah, we'd make maps. You'd walk along the road, and the road would turn this way. You put a little thing in you turn a little bit on the map here. Oh, map. I used to make a map of Long Island. Oh, yeah, it had the whole coast. I would do this make-believe coast. Very detailed. Very detailed. So but this guy did the music in Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, too. Huh? Yeah. Remember the intro music where the hand comes up? It's Rygar music! It's Rygar music, baby. And I never put two and two together. Wow. Games I grew up with. This guy. Conflict. Gogol 13. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Oh, amazing. Sip of coffee. Haisuya. I gotta listen. These Japanese composers, they go right under the carpet. Did they get any recognition? Who knows? Who knew? Well, you're getting it right now, buddy. Sip of coffee. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. But let's just talk about the final boss encounter here for Rygar. You go up, you get the flute. You play the flute, and you go up to the flying castle. And then let me tell you something right now. When you get up to the flying castle, it's like, oh my Christ, I'm here. And then, in the most suspenseful way, they make you run along the edge of the castle. And as you run, it's just brick wall after brick wall. You're running around the perimeter of the castle. And it's building up this suspense. You're like, oh my God, what the fuck is going on? Where am I? This is different. You just run and there's no enemies. And you just see up in the sky. You're in the sky castle! I mean, the mind, the imagination runs wild. Then you enter the castle and there's these like shadow beings. Alright? These shadow beings. This one thing, it's got like 4 arms and it's like crawling on the floor. I mean, the Shadow Castle, and then the final boss encounter, you meet Rygar, and it was like, I remember going there when I had the resources. I knew I was going to beat him this time. I knew because I had fucked up so bad in the past. Now I had the resources to beat Rygar, and I couldn't believe how excited I was. Listen, you didn't beat games, all right? Okay. We all beat Super Mario Brothers. My sister beat Super Mario Brothers. It didn't count. It just didn't count. Everybody beat Super Mario Brothers. You talk about it in school. You go to school. Hey guys, I beat Super Mario Brothers. Black guy. Yeah, who didn't? Asshole. Okay, it was nothing to brag about. But I got news for you, buddies. When I beat Rygar, it was like I'd come into school with my dick hanging out of my pants. Oh, I beat Rygar. Who wants to go? And it was like, oh, like a hush. It was like beating Legend of Zelda. It's like, oh, instant respect. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, when I knew I was going in there, and I was going to lay this motherfucker to waste with attack assail. That's what I did. I went in there and I started attacking and assailing. And, oh my God. And to see that guy disappear. And then the ending was very modest. All right? It was like a shutter opening. Remember? It was like a shutter opening. And there was a rainbow across Agrul. It was like, that's it. You set everybody free. And there was a moment of closure there. This is like, a year's worth of torment. Using every trick in the book. Leaving my Nintendo on underneath the fucking TV. Because there's no save states in Rygar. There's no password system. It's a Tecmo gemstone, is what I'm trying to tell you. What do I got here? I got other stupid things here. Yeah, the water. When you're on the overhead, I don't know why I even wrote this down. When you're in the overhead what I call the hub world, you know, the overhead action world, the water looks like terracotta roof shingles. And what do you want from me? I wrote it down. Oh, yeah. And when you're in the spider's tunnel, okay, you're getting chased by fucking horseshoe crabs. I don't know what these things are. What are they? Lugaroos? You're getting chased by horseshoe crabs. I remember seeing these things. And being a guy from Long Island, horseshoe crab is the most disgusting animal on planet Earth. Yeah, I don't know who brought these. These are creatures from hell. These are prehistoric creatures. You ever see a horseshoe crab? They're harmless. They're harmless. It's like the one animal that you would want next to you in the water. All right? They're not putting a fucking spear into your heart like... That's the other thing. Who took this Australian guy? A sea ray, right? Put a barb right in his heart. And the next thing you know, I'm at the aquarium and we're petting... They got a bunch of sea rays there and they're petting them. I'm pulling my son away from the sea rays. I'm like, what is this kid going to get a barb through his chest? Not on my watch. So anyway, horseshoe crabs are like, they're like a little Panzer tank. They have this hard shell and then this pointy hard tail that looks like a fucking weapon. It's like they got a fucking sword hanging off the back of them. And in Long Island, you go down to the beach there, and they'd have like the beaches on one side, and then sometimes you'd have like pools of water or whatnot, and you'd walk into these murky waters, like because it was like a shallow pool, like when you go to the town pool, and you'd walk and and then all of a sudden you'd step on the shell of a horseshoe crab, and it was like remember in the toy? Where he gets in the water with the piranhas and all of a sudden Richard Pryor, he gets up on top of the water. You could run on top of the water to get out of there. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You were like a boat coming up on plane. It was like the most horrifying moment of your life, stepping on a horseshoe crab. It was like, foreign creature. And then the thing to do was like, you'd have your buddy, the brave one who picks up spiders and lizards. Like, who's this guy? You don't do that. He'd pull the horseshoe crab out of the water. Hey, you flip it over on its back, and it was like this underneath. The legs under there like this. It was like armored legs. It was like a crab. It's a crab. But it's the most heinous animal on planet Earth. That would be like the thing to do, right? Like, I would love to pull a prank on somebody where like they're sleeping at night and you just throw a horseshoe crab under the covers. Oh my God. You want to talk about instant heart attack. Imagine pulling your covers off. You're like, oh, what's that crawling on my leg? You pull your covers off and here's this fucking helmeted war tank of a prehistoric, disgusting shelled mollusk coming at you with legs like... Oh my God. The stuff of nightmares. The stuff of just nightmares. That's Rygar, bitch. And you just tuned into the greatest video game program in the history of human civilization. And you better believe that. With a 4K face! We'll see you next time.